as a man, you need to understand that it is your woman's job to test you with challenges and obstacles to see if you can be present with it, if you can still maintain your attitude of service, of unconditional love. Your woman's job is to basically ruin all of your plans to see if you're attached to them. She helps you to expose where you are an unconscious person, where you're clinging on to life, where you're afraid, where you're unconscious. You're not conscious of your true nature as infinite, deathless, immortal consciousness. When you're not aware that this is who you are, and you're not aware that the point of life, the point of your woman, the point of life as a man is to show up and offer your gift unconditionally, to offer your guidance, your wisdom, your support, your understanding, holding space, your love, offering this gift unconditionally, regardless of the situation. So, as a man in an intimate relationship, that's why your woman, either consciously or subconsciously, she may not even know she's doing this, but she is testing the fuck out of you. She's testing you a lot. She's subconsciously poking your buttons in the exact way they need to be poked. Like, for example, you're going to watch your favorite soccer game. You've been waiting for the game to be on for weeks. You're the most anticipated game. You've been following the scores, the statistics, and you've been waiting for this game for weeks. Finally, the game is on. And you're so excited. You got your chicken wings, your popcorn. You're ready to watch the game. You're so involved in this game. And this is the perfect time that your woman decides to somehow accidentally cut herself with a knife. And she requires medical attention. She needs to be rushed to the hospital. And she's crying and throwing it, she's cut. She needs to be driven to the hospital. This is just an example. It's a hypothetical example. But as a man, this is testing you to help you, to get you to realize that why are you clinging so hard to this stupid soccer game? It really, at the end of the day, how is you watching the soccer game going to help you offer your immortal, deathless gift of enlightened wisdom to all beings for the sake of their awakening, so that they can be happy and fulfilled eternally? How is you watching the soccer game eating chicken wings, how is that going to help? So it's life's job to basically foil your plans, because your plans were selfish and small-minded and unconscious, only focusing on your own temporary pleasure, not focusing on giving your gift to the world, giving your gift to your woman. So there's all sorts of scenarios like this where you're really excited to go to the movie theaters. For example, your favorite movie is playing, you're taking your girlfriend on a date, you've been anticipating this date for a whole week. You're excited to have you have the whole date planned. You're going to watch a movie, you're going to take her to a restaurant, take her back to your place, and make sweet love. And this is like, you're so excited. Yet on the way to the movie theater, your woman decides that she's not interested anymore in watching that movie, or maybe she's really hungry and she really needs some food like right now. She needs food right now. But you say, no, there's no time to get food. You already ate. We have to go watch the movie. So here you're being cold. You're being not understanding. You're not able to relinquish your attachments to this one specific movie. You're not able to kind of go with the flow of life to support her unconditionally. Even if you paid $40 for the tickets, are you willing to let that go? She's testing you. If you force her to go even though she's hungry, you're basically showing that you're not a compassionate human being. You're more focused on yourself than you are on others, on her. And this is showing your whole character structure. Think about all the other areas where you're too focused on your own plans and your own, money and your own pleasure over helping others. However, if, let's say, you meet her test, you meet her crippling hunger all of a sudden, even though you guys just had, a massive meal at a restaurant, right? Her test is not logical. It's not about whether she's actually hungry or not. It's more like, imagine the whole universe is testing you to help to smooth out your selfishness and your rough edges and your clinging and attachment. If you're able to meet her in this scenario and be understanding, say, hey, you're hungry, okay, you know what, that means we might miss the movie. I already paid for the tickets, that kind of sucks, but you know what, let's go get you some more food, or let's go to the grocery store, I'll get some fruit, right, get you, or whatever you want, some grapes, and then maybe we can go watch a different movie. Not a big deal, no problem, love. I love you unconditionally. I don't mind. I know I wanted to see this movie for weeks. I know it's like opening night. We've been looking forward to this, but we're gonna miss it. But it's okay. I'll sacrifice my own selfish pleasure for the sake of helping you be happy and healthy. So this is one example that essentially demonstrates what it means to actually be a man. A big lesson that your woman is teaching you. So we're going to talk about, so I'm talking a lot about from the perspective of a man right now, then we're going to switch and then I'm going to talk about from the perspective of a woman, but we're just finishing off with the perspective of a man. I'm a man, so of course it's more natural for me to speak from this perspective. Your woman teaches you the lesson of humility. A great practice you can do, a spiritual practice you can do that will help you attain awakening for the benefit of all beings. The sublime, blissful liberation of all the Buddhas that brings eternal peace and happiness forever. More than money or fame or sex or whatever it is, the eternal happiness. A great practice you can do to cultivate this is to realize that it's always your fault. Always. It's always your responsibility. The blame is always on you. Even if your woman, let's say, is driving the car and she gets into an accident, that's your fault. Or if she's in the kitchen and she cuts herself, that's your fault. That's your responsibility. There is nothing ever that is your woman's fault. Even if she's, let's say, giving directions, right? You're asking her to read the map, and she's holding the map upside down, and she takes you down the wrong path, and now you keep asking her, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" She's like, "Yes, I'm sure. Don't worry, I'm sure." And then an hour later, you realize you're in the completely wrong direction because the map is upside down. That's your fault. That's not her fault. That's your fault. Whoops. Looks like we went the wrong way. It's okay. We got to spend more time together at least. Yeah, we're going to be late for our trip. You know, it's okay. Things happen. I still love you. Let's make it fun. It's a big mistake, but let's make it a fun mistake. Maybe we can enjoy the scenery along the way. Your woman's job is to not tolerate your lack of unconditional love, your selfish attachment, your worries, your petty worries, petty, shallow, petty worries about stupid, pointless shit that won't matter when you're dying on your deathbed. You won't give a fuck about these petty, shallow, insignificant worries. Like damaging your credit score. Like my girlfriend and I, we had a phone plan together, and we agreed that we would split the bill, and her phone was on my plan, and then I had my own plan, and she was paying her half and I was paying my half. She just forgot to pay her half, and I kept reminding her for a long time, but she just didn't pay her half for a very long time, to the point where it was like I refused to pay it for a while. I was like, hey, that's your bill. We agreed, right? Eventually it got to a point where it went all the way to collections, because I was so stubborn. I refused to pay it. It went all the way to collections, and it damaged my credit score. And the whole time I was pissed off, worried, angry at her. Not realizing that when you die and, you go to heaven, let's say, just as an analogy, God doesn't check your credit score. He checks to see what was inside your heart. Were you a kind and unconditionally loving human being in spite of these horrendous, difficult challenges? What did you value more? Love or your bank account? There's this quote from the Bible. It's like, don't store up treasures on earth where they're subject to impermanence. That's not what they say. They say where mice and vermin eat them and mold rots them. Don't store up treasures on earth where things are impermanent. They're subject to decay and death. Instead, store up your treasures in heaven, where they're not subject to decay and death. So where is heaven? No, it's not, some land in the clouds somewhere. Let's just say the material world and the spiritual world, right? Just as a just simple way to describe it. The spiritual world is about who you are being as a person, what you are practicing, what you're thinking about, how you're feeling, how you're relating to experiences, the kind of person you're being. Are you being kind and compassionate and considerate and understanding and loving? Or are you being cold and callous and tough and unfeeling for the sake of money, to store up your treasures on earth. So what's so great about developing genuine virtue, developing genuine awakening, genuine understanding and love and compassion within yourself, using life as a helper, or you're using your woman as a helper who is sometimes very ruthless, sometimes very pleasant and inspiring, sometimes very beautiful. She'll bring a tear to your eye, or she'll cut your head off when you're not paying attention. That's life. The reason why the yin-yang even exists at all, the reason why anything exists at all, is to help you become more selfless, to really understand what it means to be infinite and immortal and timeless, eternally present. This goes beyond just this one lifetime. Now, if you don't believe in lifetimes, you need to understand there's actually recently been a lot of evidence and study, and a lot of there is this one researcher, I forget his name, but he's devoted 50 years of his life just collecting thousands of accounts of young children who were having complex, detailed memories of their past lives. Now, whether you believe in this or not, okay, who knows if it's real, right? It's all emptiness at the end of the day, right? But let's just say, for the sake of living a good life, let's just say, for example, that you then will be reincarnated after you die into another form. Okay? Just say as an example. Do you know that none of the stuff here on Earth carries with you? You don't get to bring your house with you to your next life. You don't get to bring your mansion and your fame and your wealth and your status and your recognition and even your legacy. You don't get to bring any of that with you. You don't get to bring your body with you. None of this. You know what you do get to bring with you, though? And I'm not going to go into the particular metaphysics of this. Let's just say it's an analogy, okay? I'm not going to go into, I actually don't understand, the metaphysics of reincarnation. But let's just use it as an analogy. You know what will come with you to your next life? The prayers that you've said for the sake of others. Not praying only for me. Oh God, can I please have a Lamborghini? Please God, can I get my dick sucked tonight? Please. Right? Please, can my team win the soccer game? What goes with you to your next life is your prayers for others. Please God, may all beings in all dimensions and galaxies, visible or invisible, known or unknown, big or small, may all of them be happy and be free from suffering. May all beings awaken and be free from emotional confusion, clinging, and attachment. Those aspirations, your aspiration. For example, in Buddhism, there's this idea of the Bodhisattva vow. However innumerable beings are, I vow to meet them with kindness and patience. However inexhaustible the states of suffering are, I vow to touch them with wisdom and love. However innumerable the teachings of the awakened ones are, I vow to study and explore them deeply. However mysterious the nature of reality is, I vow to surrender to it freely. From this day forward, with wisdom and compassion as my lamp and staff, I dedicate all my life energies to the welfare of all sentient beings. And in Buddhism, there's this idea of the bodhisattva where you continually return to the suffering realms. You continually return to earth, or whatever you want to call it. There's potentially infinite kinds of earths. You continue to return just to help others awaken. Not even for you. You don't come back to earth so that you can go swim in the Mediterranean Sea. Sure, you can do that if you want. Nothing wrong with that. I've done that. It's amazing. I recommend you do it. But that's not why you come to earth. It might be one reason, but the grander, nobler reason is for the sake of being a guide for others, for awakening yourself first and foremost, and then for the sake of others, right? So, in an intimate relationship, your woman, let's say as you're having sex, what are you focused on? What are you thinking about? Are you just thinking about, am I doing it right? Does she like it? Is she gonna do that thing that I like? Can I ask her this, or it's all about you, focused on your own pleasure, getting instead of giving. Or when you're having sex, are you fully present, fully there? No self-interest. It's not about you. Sure, there's desire still there. There's still desire, but that desire is surrendered to, and it's not clinged to. Then it becomes transmuted. That desire, you can use that desire, that extremely stimulating sexual experience. You can use those high levels of energy that are there. Dedicate all of it for the welfare of all beings, so that all beings across the whole world, the whole universe, may all of them be peaceful, be happy, be awakened, be free from fear and war and strife. Can you maintain this expansive view, not just when you're having sex, but living your whole life with this expansive view, not forgetting? When you forget, women, ladies, sorry, when your man forgets, women, ladies, when your man forgets, I give you permission to give him a nice fucking poke in his eyes. Not literally, I'm speaking figuratively here. Hey, wake up. What the fuck are you thinking about, right? Now, of course, I'm not saying, it's important to be compassionate as well, right? I'm saying, women, don't hold back your genuine feelings. If you feel like your man is just like goofing all the time, always goofing, and he's stuck in it, I give you permission to give him hell in a genuine way. Express your fucking emotions. Be a woman. Express fully. Don't kink it because you're afraid he's gonna leave you. You should leave him. This fucking spineless fuck who's just sitting on the couch doing nothing all day. Unconscious. Jacking off all day to other women. Hurting you. And I've been there before. I've been that man as well. And I'm actually so grateful that my girlfriend is so strong and just courageous to be able to let me have it, to help me wake up. It changed my life. Literally helped me awaken as a human being, helped me to become a better person. So a conscious man who actually has his eye on the ball, what's the ball? The ball is attaining awakening for the sake of yourself and all beings. That's the only ball. There's no other ball to have your eye on, okay? It's not about making $1 billion or about, conquering the world or having a legacy or being the smartest. None of this. It's about becoming nothing, becoming low, becoming like one with the Tao, right? They say the Tao, in Lao Tzu says the Tao lays low. It's like water. It lays low like the rivers in the valleys. So the goal of life, the highest goal, is not to build yourself up, but in a weird way, it's actually to deconstruct yourself until nothing is left, but just the utter simplicity of being. Not even that. There's nothing left to do except offer your wisdom for the welfare of others. And for your woman as well, right? So when you're going to the movie theater and she changes her mind about the whole thing, what do you care? Your infinite immortal consciousness whose only purpose is to just offer unconditional love for the sake of all. What do you care if you miss the movie? So, yeah, as a woman, please, like, develop the courage to just, like, leave. Or just don't settle for shit. Don't deny how you feel. Don't close your heart. Feel your truth. If the way your man is fucking you is unconscious and selfish, don't settle for the fucking... Tell him to get off you, put your clothes on, and frickin' leave. Or go do, like... He needs to self-reflect, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You need to develop that deep trust as a woman. I know it's hard. I know you've been hurt so many times, and if you don't want to be lonely, and I know. But it's also important to develop this capacity and this courage to be true to yourself and not settle for less than what you want. Not settle for anything less than an awakened man, an awakened Buddha who's fully present with you, who loves you unconditionally, who would sacrifice everything for you. Now, that doesn't mean that, like, your man doesn't have a purpose, right? I'm not talking about that. This, like, unconscious self-sacrifice where you just, like, get lost in the daily activities, or you're driving your kids around, you're doing whatever your wife tells you to do, but you have no purpose of your own. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a man whose purpose is to help all beings awaken, and he's willing to give his life for that, and you're a being as well, so he loves you as well. So your tests as a woman and your woman's tests as a man, this is just life testing you, poking you to expose your selfish unconsciousness, your lack of vision, your lack of understanding of what's really important in life, which is nothing. But I'm not saying, oh, nothing's important, might as well just, like, be sad and eat Cheetos all day. I'm saying nothing in particular is more important than any other thing, and that is the Buddha mind, right there. All things are equally amazing. All experiences and scenarios are loved and taken care of and accommodated equally. So when you realize that nothing is the most important, then you actually realize that everything is the most important, every single thing, with nothing excluded. So as a man, hey, I know how it feels to just suck over and over again forever, like all the time. Like, this is how you get good at, like, video games, for example. When you're playing Dark Souls, one of my favorite games, the bosses just kick your ass over and over again. They just kick your ass. They pound you. You die 500 times. That's how you get good. When you finally beat that boss, you're not the same person that you were when you started. So the same is true with life. I know it's hard, you know, you get your ass kicked over and over again. So that's why it's important to meditate, right? To be kind to yourself. Give yourself space. Remember what's important. Be present. Keep coming back to the present. If you fail at being present and you're lost in selfish distraction, what is there left to do except just return to your practice of being here? What else are you going to do? The now isn't going anywhere. So you can get lost in selfish distraction for 10 years straight, right? But eventually, you're going to have to return to yourself, return to the truth. The truth. Because the truth is, it's right here. It's not going anywhere. So you can spend 500 lifetimes lost in selfish distraction, as most people do. You're going to have to come back home eventually. And home, where is home? Home is right here. It's awareness, the knowing of truth, the knowing what things really are, the way your mind is, what consciousness is, what life is. So all this to say, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, if you fail, you fuck up, you make a mistake, you're unconscious, you're ruled by your conditioning, you fall asleep, your mind tricks you. Yeah, join the club. This is how it is to be a delusional being, like myself and you as well. But the goal is to develop unconditional compassion, even for your lack of awareness, and to remember that your potential, not only your potential, but also your basic intrinsic state is Buddha. Awakened one. All right. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Intimate relationships are a very important part of the self-actualization journey because they're just a microcosm of the entire macrocosm of life. Something that you will need a lot of help with in your intimate relationships, as a man especially, is being clear about what you want in your life. This is important for women as well, but it's especially important for men. Being clear about what you want, who you are, what your strengths are, what your unique gifts are, and how to share them in a compassionate and authentic and real and loving way, so that you can share your fullest potential, actualize your fullest potential. That's what I talk about in my brand new coaching program, which I will link in the description. You can join to come chat with me. I'll help you with all of this and more. And otherwise, stay tuned for more videos like this. Subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.